back in the day, to know somebody in biblical terms meant to have sex with them. Like, oh, I know her.
Yeah.
Like, if you be like, oh, I know that woman. It's like, what y'all do? Like, in the Bible it says no is to have sex.
To have
I
known.
never caught that.
Can you imagine somebody walking around with an A on their head?
Oh.
Huh? What you mean?
Remember the story about the girl? She was a whore.
No, I don't want to say the wrong name.
Scarlet Letter.
And she had.
She had to walk on with an A on her head.
I
Are we still talking about the Bible?
Yeah, that was a poem, but I don't know if that was
They used to stone.
I was about to say, I don't think my grandma let me read that story. I think
y'all ain't watch.
I mean, the Bible.
Letter.
I mean, that was a segue from the Bible to this.
Hey, top of the top to the Thinking Out Loud.
What's up, people?
Yeah. Good morning.
We out here working it out.
I don't know I just don't even know where the A on the head came from.
I don't even know if that's real.
The fact that they used to stone and do like the...
Can you imagine being stoned?
Bro, and walking down and people just like rearing back with big headed rocks.
like knowing a rock coming.
To be stoned?
And they stoned to death.
You talking about?
Yeah, they still do it in some places in the world, bro.
Where they stoning people at?
Bro, they still stone people.
I didn't want to say a specific area.
Yeah, I was about to say, I can't even.
But it's
Can
still
you imagine being hung?
That's traumatizing.
You was in literally just sucking the life out of you.
That is.
But now,
all right, bro, I'm starting to get down.
Yeah,
let's just stop.
I'm just saying,
I know, I'm just starting to get down.
Have y'all been to the Black History Museum?
Yes,
the one in DC. I haven't, but I've heard about it.
Everybody should go to
definitely
that.
go.
Everybody should go to that.
That's not something you should wait around on.
I've been 3 times.
Yeah,
that's
Have you seen everything in it within the 3 times?
Yeah, the first time I
didn't make it to the last floor.
Last 2 times, I went with my grandfather once. I took my nephew.
That's dope.
Another time.
Yeah,
so I've been.
I did.
3 times.
Go ahead.
And I was gonna say I went to a Black History Museum in North Carolina one time with my grandparents, and it just means so much seeing their eyes when they see that stuff. They see the exhibits and then the stories they tell you based off of what they remember. Yeah. It's a whole nother.
Speaking
experience.
of Black, do y'all mind being called Black or African American?
I was just asked that recently.
I'm brown.
You're brown?
So
you're not Black?
so honestly,
I'm really
because
not
I
Black.
thought it was called the African American Museum, and then y'all said the Black History Museum. So I'm trying to figure out, do you mind?
Some people really do get offended if you call them African American. Like my grandma, I remember one time my grandma was wild out. I was like, I said something about African American. She said, I ain't from Africa. I was like, damn, grandma. I was like,
yeah, I'm Black.
Why do we do that though? Maybe that's the deeper question. Why do we maybe get offended if somebody says African American, or why do we get offended if somebody says Black? It also depends on who. Like if a white person is like, hey, you see that Black guy? Hey, hold on, buddy. Hey, hold on, buddy. But
maybe it's something. Maybe it has something to do with us never being able to identify ourselves.
Ooh.
And you see how I come in sometimes like that?
You do.
It's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I thought about that.
It's like that Snoop Dogg thing on the internet where it'd be like, this is the type of content I like to see.
So would you identify yourself as brown if you could?
If I could.
If you could add a blank line on the application.
Big brown guy.
And you'll be okay with that. But no, that's
But so if you're brown, then why do we say Black and brown cultures?
Because we're Black.
But you just said you're not.
Because we aren't really Black.
Yeah,
that's colorism.
But I'm just saying.
It is. That's colorism.
I was just asking because they'll say Black and brown communities of the world, and I'm like, well, which one are you in?
Well,
I
mean, I think it sucks too because I think that's where our white counterparts, they look at us and they can say, or our Black sisters that are darker with their complexion. They start to feel it's hard for them now with social media. But even my cousin Brita was saying for so long she didn't like her skin because so many people didn't like dark skinned girls.
The world makes it hard on dark skin.
Right.
Girls.
So saying Black, you automatically think dark. That's what I was saying.
And I think that plays into the way the world defines the color.
Right. Right.
Because Black is looked at as negative, and then you have these positive purity you're supposed to wear white to you're supposed to wear black to a funeral, you're supposed to wear white to a wedding, and all these different things that we have to it. So it's crazy, but
I just hate the fact that everything has to have a label, and I guess it's natural, but everything has to have some. Because I was filling out something, and I just remember being torn, like because it asked hair color, eye color, and I put BLK for my hair color. Then it asked race. I was about to write BLK again, and I'm like, I'm labeling myself the same way I label my hair color is who I am. You know what I'm saying? And that's the piece that I struggle with is how can you label me as a color? Like, and I know it's just the application, just put it down, but it's like I'm way more than just this black.
Dan, you're way more than any application. You're way more than any application.
Whatever.
This makes me think of, do y'all know Mario Lopez from Saved by the Bell?
Right.
He just got in trouble for a comment where basically he was talking about transgender, but he was just saying in general, if your child starts to identify a certain type of way too young, it's dangerous to automatically put them in that box. Yeah. You need to allow them time to at least discover different avenues before immediately identifying with one box or another.
Right.
And I was thinking about that just now because we were talking about once we kind of get in our mind what we are, anytime we get something that kind of challenges that idea, it throws us off. We don't really know, how to identify. And I think that's one important thing about books. Our kids don't read like they used to. I know it took me a while to start reading, but I read now. And every time I read, it's just like you're connecting a dot.
Right.
Toni Morrison, she just passed away.
Right.
The way that she was able to identify just the beauty of your skin or just the acceptance of your eye color or just your hair, just beautiful hair, etc.
Right.
It was important back then, but now that those authors and people of that age are starting to pass away, it's going to be hard to find people that's going to help us be able to identify ourselves the way that they used to be able to.
Or we just do it.
I was gonna say, why
like me and you.
The thing is,
X and Doug, we write books.
Me and you, okay, books. I agree with that, but I'm saying just to say it, and then they hear it on social media something different, then they hear in the school something different. Yeah. It just doesn't connect the way that it used to.
Right.
I think you. My fault. I think you had said something.
Don't interrupt me.
Did y'all hear that? This
man, I will scrub the rest of that shirt off, man. This guy. But anyway, I was trying to tell you something you said.
Go ahead.
And you gonna do that, bro? Never mind, man. Go ahead. No, what you? Go ahead, bro. I'm gonna be quiet, man.
Thinking out loud.
But you had said one other time in another episode that if you have too many options, too much stuff, then what do you really have?
Right.
So, because I even see now they're going towards, and again, I'm not against it, but they're going towards even taking off the suffixes off of when you're filling out stuff. Mr., Mrs., taking that away.
Wow.
Even when you go to a conference, it'll have your name with he, she. Like you know, say they'll have the pronouns that you want to go with. Like,
So they're trying to take those away. So I think that kind of goes along with it. Is that those I don't want to say older, but the generations prior to us, they almost had a set, idea and thought about what it was. So going back to your point was, they started to ask, why does it matter? Why can't we set our own? Because I think in setting our own, we're giving all these options and nobody eventually knows who they are.
Well, I think what you have history. They've laid down the path. You just follow it. So it ain't saying you don't recreate the wheel if it's already been made. She's already told us how to love yourself, and she's already wrote the messages and showed us how it works. You just follow it. I don't think so much as like you just change the narrative. If you saying it's too much social media, we'll start telling kids to look at Toni Morrison. Like, keep her alive. Same way we do Nip. Like it's the exact same way. Like we're not recreating the wheel on that. We just instead of selling drugs. Hey, Nip told us to do it like this.
I'm gonna finish my book.
I'm telling
you, that really is motivated.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like too many times we're like, oh man, I can't believe we lost some. Things ain't gonna be the same. Why not?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily saying things are gonna change, but I am saying with the passing of Toni Morrison, a lot will change. I honestly do think
like
some
what,
things
though?
will change. So, for example, Toni Morrison, still to this day, she's like an activist. She still speaks out.
Okay.
She still promotes just many things for Black queens, I'll say,
Okay.
Black women. With her passing, I feel like now social media and a couple things, they'll speak on it for a while, but once that fade kind of goes away, who's going to step up in her place?
Somebody, like, I guess I'm more optimistic because I look at it like the same way as Nip. Yeah, if Nip died, somebody has stepped up.
He inspired.
Right.
Yeah. So you're thinking,
my thing, I'm not putting...
We're losing leaders. You're thinking we're
that's
losing,
where I'm going with it.
So people may
leaders.
speak on it, individually, but I think that whole... And I'm not saying it's good or bad, but we're losing those leaders of those movements that led the way and did those things, as opposed to now everyone kind of having their own ideas about it. So Nip was a leader of that, in the face of it. So now we have people doing it, but it's not that.
Okay,
I think to his point, I think one thing that I've started to notice, I was listening to his meditation thing, and it says, if you put a box somewhere in your house, whether it be that day, whether it be in the next day or in that week, it's going to get filled. Mm-hmm. Like, it's going to get filled. Yeah. So no matter what, whenever you have a gap somewhere, it's going to get filled. So with Nip or like with Toni Morrison or anybody leaving, those gaps are going to get filled. Like when leaders die off, new leaders come. Now, does it say that they're the same leader as the other person? No, but a leader is going to be filled. And so that's why I think that, especially with in today's age, with the influence that we can have via social media, via all these platforms that we have, instead of thinking about the leaders that are going to come in, we actually could make ourselves into those leaders easily.
And that's where I love the fact of, I always say, Tupac said it, Nip did it. So Toni Morrison said it. So somebody's going to step up and do it.
You might not change the world, but you're going to inspire the one who does.
Right. Like if I feel like if we continue to focus, I feel like that's the problem. If you look at where we live now, we have older leaders who are stuck in their ways, and so many people are scared of change because they're like, we can't let this position move because it's going to shake up too much.
I don't know what that was.
It's going to shake up too much. But what's wrong with fresh ideas and fresh mindsets and new ways of thinking? Like, not to downplay her death or anything like that. No. It's just more of like time does not stop for no man. No. And people have to die. Like, that is a fact. People have to die. So why not, if somebody's going to pass, somebody else fill those shoes and do what she did and plus more, if she's already laid the path.
Absolutely.
Because you need those fresh new insights, because if you're in doing something too long, you become so engulfed in it that you start to portray the you being tarnished, or you start to look at it negatively as opposed to someone's coming in fresh. Not saying experience over freshness is better or the other, but if you've been in it for X amount of time, then you have all of that background, while someone coming in where you are, they could bring some fresh new ideas.
He's doing a breath check, but I
look like a
damn that. All right, I'm good.
So I guess my thing is that but with do we know how old Toni was?
I don't know how old she was,
but
I think it's about the pulse of like the culture. I think with being a leader, you have to have, when you're talking about being in it too long. I think that people, once you lose the pulse of the culture and the pulse of like whatever it is that you're doing, relinquish it.
Yes.
Like when you know that it's something where I'm not at all tapped into the pulse of what the majority feels, of what the majority, whether that be your company, whether you're an activist, and whether you really know that how you handle it ain't really, you know what I'm saying? So I think that with the leaders that we have now, especially in Roanoke, like you were just saying, it's on us to basically this box that there is. It's on us to fill in the box.
But when you become a part of the culture, can you really change the culture?
When you become a part of the culture,
when you're a part, and when you're engulfed in the culture, being a part of it, can you really impact it?
Yeah, but you can't change something you don't know nothing about.
Okay.
Yeah, I think when you're a part of the culture, you can
push the culture where it's at, but also with that change, I feel as if you have like it has to be if you're in. How can I say it? Like.
Make it plain.
But what basically what I'm saying is if you're in it, can you see what needs to be changed? Can you? Really?
I think that's the problem. Like if you look at like churches nowadays, right? Mm-hmm. People are trying to figure out why are young people not going to church. You know what I'm saying churches are just not the same as they used to, right? Do you think it has anything to do with pastors not being tapped in to the younger world?
But once you become tapped in for so many parts, then you just become that culture. You're not changing it. So I think you can be tapped in, but you can't become a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's where a lot of the times things come from. Everyone becomes so much alike. Or within that culture, you know, it pushes so much, but you have to have thinkers and minds who are going to be outside.
I think the definition of a leader is being able to stand amongst people and still lead, like
but not becoming fully a part of and looking like and becoming a part of that culture, because you know what I'm saying.
So how I look at it is like with kids, like working with kids, for instance. I look at it's like a two-way street. So I look to them for keeping me abreast on culture and like dang, this is a new dance, this is some new music. And at the same time, being able to filter in, I learned this like growing up, so maybe like this will help you. So I feel like you have to still. That's what I mean about the pulse. Like you have to be tapped in to know what's going on.
That's a great example. That can drive home what I was trying to say. So if you start to learn those new dances and start to do that, and then you start to dance like them, talk like them exactly, and dress like them, will they respect you the same way?
I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So knowing it is one thing, but you can't completely become a part of it. Because then eventually you're going to be looked at as a peer. You're going to be looked at as I'm not going to respect you because so if you lose that respect and you lose that progressiveness along with the mixing of your own experience, then I think that's when you lose so I think anyone who comes in as a leader has to have a pulse of it, but also know where it's going.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think leader, that's just the definition that comes in with it.
I get what you're saying with that, but I don't know. Naturally, when you form that relationship, it should already be established leader, kind of peer, leader, etc. Because, like, with my mentee, he always compliments if I get some new shoes, or he likes the way that I dress, or that we listen to the same music. But he naturally knows we are not on the same level. If I tell you to do something, man, there is no. Yeah. But at the same time,
the way he was looking, he was like,
we are not.
That's what I was saying. It's just, but that's been established from the get. Yeah. But at the same time,
from the get what?
I think from like day one, it was different. We had to naturally get closer first and get a bond. But I don't act any different or any more professional.
But what I'm saying is you're not trying to be like him.
Got you.
You're already who you are that just happens to engulf some of the things that he likes and what it is. So what I'm saying is you're not going
set yourself apart.
You're not going in trying to be as the culture, because all of our gifts are separate. So all of our gifts bring something to the table. So if we mask our gifts trying to be a part of that culture, then we're never going to impact it. So I feel as if we got to bring something.
I'm gonna tell y'all a new culture I'm really part of, and I just thought about this.
Here it goes.
The Big Three. I am so for that culture.
I love it.
The show?
I do too.
The Big Three?
You like that?
It. Yeah.
With Ice Cube on it? Hell yeah, I like it. I love it.
They fight and everything. They get it in.
Oh, hold on. They fight?
Oh, you ain't seen them?
Oh, no.
I've been watching it.
I was just saying I like it because I like the idea of him taking something, like what we're talking about. I think that inspires me to see that, like, he saw the NBA and saw another avenue and went out and filled the box.
You need to go get Carmelo. That's what we need to go.
Oh, he's picking up. They said Joe Johnson should still be in the league because of him. Yeah, he invented the 4-point shot now. He's actually changing it to where it's turning into its own thing.
Yeah, like the Big Three is something that is like really, really growing. I don't know how. I mean, they were just on CBS, so I think that like
they were.
So I guess being tapped in to the culture, but you have to be willing to step out to do something that's different. Because if Nip was fully in the culture, he wouldn't have done all the things that he did. Because our culture,
I think Nip was definitely fully involved in the culture. I think he just knew himself so much, and he was able to stand.
So that's what. So that's what I'm saying.
You set yourself apart regardless.
So that's what I'm saying. So you have to have those two, because if you fully go in and you stay where the culture is, then you won't progress. So what I'm saying is,
I personally don't agree with that.
Our culture as a whole wasn't doing the things he was doing. What I'm saying. So if he became fully a part of it, the culture and what everyone else was doing around him, he wouldn't have done the things he did. So you see what I'm saying? So you have, yes, he was tapped in. He was hip hop. He was all of those things, but at the same time, he was progressive.
Which is our culture.
It overall, that wasn't something that our culture was doing or is doing.
What do you mean?
So that means he was in our culture, but he was also.
That's what I've been saying. Yes.
But you're saying don't tap all the way into our culture, like
no, you have to. No, what I'm saying is you're tapped in, but you can't become a part.
I get what he's saying.
So you understand the culture, and you know, and you can impact it, but you can't become fully involved.
With the Nip example, what do you like in terms of like?
So he's changed the thinking and the culture of owning your own rights, doing all of the, because culturally in hip hop that wasn't being done.
People were doing lean.
You see what I'm saying? So if he would have fully stayed engulfed in what was already happening, he would have never become who he was. So that's what I'm saying. So yes, he took the culture. He was a rapper. He did those things, but he used the culture to progress it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
he was in the culture and started a new culture.
Yes, but so that's but if you just jump head first into it and stay there just to fit in, then you'll never impact it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I get that.
Yeah, what you're saying.
I mean, I think all in all,
I'm with it. I just feel like you have to fully immerse yourself in the culture to understand our people. And then if you take a step out and grab another piece of culture and another piece of culture and, this perspective and this perspective, then you create a culture.
Yeah, you're still making my point.
No,
you are.
But you're saying.
So jumping into the culture.
You're saying don't.
And what I'm saying, don't be a part.
We'll
like you can't. You can't become fully a part of that culture. You'll never bring what you need to it. You know what I'm saying? So if I come in and I see that you got on the hat, the fitted, you got the yellow, and I come in, okay, I got to fit in. And then I start to do that, then I won't bring in my own style. I won't bring in my own piece to it. I can understand it and I can appreciate it, but at the same time, there's something to be said to understand. Get out of here.
No, keep it going.
Get out of here.
It's Mac leader.
But like I said,
so the way we'll end this is the culture.
No, because it's funny, but I find it like healthy. I find it healthy. I think conversations like this are what really show me that like in our community, just going off of like a whole nother dynamic, we can talk about anything.
Yeah.
Like there's no just thinking about, because I really was thinking about like the gun violence just here in this city, because like when I don't know if it was one of those things when I was growing up that being like living where I lived, I kind of was like we have never had a shooting like in my neighborhood, even though it's all black. Well, outside of like being kind of mildly gentrified now, like I grew up in a black neighborhood and we never had gun violence. Like the most you was gonna hear about somebody like, oh, like meet me at the park, we're gonna scrap. Mm-hmm. But it's like now I think I find stuff like, even though we joke, I find stuff like this healthy, because even though you were on two, maybe we're not seeing eye to eye, we can talk. And still, even if we don't agree, we can still, like, it's not like, oh, I don't fool with you, all this X, Y, Z. And so,
I ain't coming back.
Yeah, it's like, I love stuff like that, even though we like laughing about it. I love stuff like that because you get the chance, get the opportunity to see. That allows me to see black men communicating where they're not arguing. So if somebody says, well, all they want to do, no, it's not.
I can show you an example.
Like, no, it's not.
Right.
Yeah, I could actually show you an example on air and where you can visibly see two people who are like, I don't know that I see it that way, but keeping it cool.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
You know,
so I guess going along with that, other, because, we want to, people to remain healthy and keeping those healthy habits and being able to in a healthy way communicate. Yeah. Is there any other things that, you just kind of do?
Surrender. I think surrendering is really good for your health. Like surrendering to forgiveness. Surrendering to not being right all the time. Like just being able to surrender. Because I think when you surrender, you allow yourself to just open yourself to different possibilities that you were guarded from. So I think that's one thing with health that I think a lot of people, it's a word that we don't really attribute to health, but if you surrender to forgiveness, who knows what you let off your shoulders, and that helps your health, like stress-wise or something like that. So, and just in vain with health, what you were saying, I think surrender has been a big word for me. What about you? Ducky. Never going to call you that again.
How them bikes working out?
Who?
The bikes. Cause you have...
Oh, yeah. I'm taking a day off. My legs are...
Yeah.
I rode about 6 miles.
It's not really far on a bike.
Huh?
6 miles ain't very far on a bike.
When's the last time you did it?
Yeah.
I ride bikes often. I just don't gotta record it. I ride bikes often.
Hold on. But to be honest with you though, 6 miles.
It's not far.
It's not a lot at all.
No. I was gonna say it's a lot for somebody who hasn't started.
I rode a bike and
don't let him off.
Anyway,
don't let him off.
I rode from my house like way out of Salem, which 6 miles is not a lot. You know what I'm saying, but
front and back.
Yes.
Also 12.
Yeah, but I guess.
Okay,
but
that's better.
I had to get back. You thought
I'm just saying. You should you might have left one bike there, so you go
just
back.
I-81, a black dude with a bike. Like, I'm sorry, brown dude with a bike.
Big brown man. Big brown man.
What is big brown do for you? What?
So can I speak on just for a second?
Yeah.
It's always been funny to me how other races can go out and run and bike and you know they're getting in shape. Whereas when we go bike and run,
look like
it's like we don't have a car or we don't have something to ride.
Bro, I really want to start riding my bike as like my transportation. But I know like people was really seeing me like, hey, cuz you good.
You got going back?
Yeah, like I'm like, dog, like I'm riding a bike, like I'm good.
You gotta be full of tires.
Yeah.
When you're a black guy or you live in you gotta have the full of tire on.
And it was old heads like like about to cut grass or something like that. And hey, you good? You straight? I'm like, dog, I'm straight.
They on the phone with their friends later. Yeah, X down bad. X off on a bike.
Hey, go check.
Got no car.
Go check on the store. Make sure the store's still open around the corner.
Trying to live healthy. Like, what you mean?
That's terrible. That is that way. So people waving at you.
Make you feel bad for eating good. Like you like, oh no, I don't want that macaroni and cheese. Look at you. Like, damn. Like
I'm just trying to live.
With you.
My arteries hurt.
So I guess my thing is just forming healthy habits. I kind of touched on it in Toolbox Tuesday, but just making sure that, habits don't go away. If you have a habit, if you're doing something that you don't like, you have to replace it with something else. You can't just think you're going to cold turkey stop everything, because naturally something's going to take its space. Yeah. And you have to decide whether it's going to be a healthy habit or something else negative. So with your habits, don't just try to stop it. Try to think what you can do to replace that habit with something else that can potentially be healthy, because people always talk about, I don't got time to do this. I don't have time. Yes.
I got a question for all of us. Doug going down. Best and worst habit that you have?
Oh.
On the spot. Yours?
My best habit that I'll go with? Best habit is meditating. So meditating is my best habit. Come back to me on worst habit. What's your best one?
Best habit? Probably working hard.
Working hard.
Worst habit?
Oh, gosh.
Probably.
That's some habits.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say this one because you didn't give me my turn on the last thing.
Didn't give you.
Hey, as soon as we get off air,
don't you ever. Let's go, man.
Hey, Justin, we cut. Look.
I ain't telling you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think my worst habit would probably be, and I'm getting better at it, but probably
Pornhub.
Mm.
I had to throw it in there for you. Go ahead.
You just gave them free advertisement.
Right. Oh, wow. What? I mean,
Stop.
Pornhub has free advertising just because it's called Pornhub. It's a hub of porn.
This is true.
But
That's true.
Go ahead.
I don't watch it.
You're more experienced, bro.
I don't watch it.
I just think to myself. I close my eyes and think to myself.
That's why his favorite habit is meditating.
Yeah, look, meditate next thing. Oh my God.
Go ahead, man. What's your
Mom, get a rag.
What's your worst?
on this song.
Oh, man. That's
Go ahead with your work. All right,
no, my worst joke is probably discipline. Like not being all the way disciplined.
Oh.
Is that can that be a habit?
No, I'm just saying
I was
working hard
and not having discipline. I didn't know how it worked.
No. I work very hard, but discipline as in like, all right,
time.
Maybe time management. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is hence why you plan more now.
Right.
Good.
Daniel?
I work my tail off, but I'm learning to plan better now.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Two good ones I think is read my Bible consistently every day, not even, whether it's long or short. I can start my day every single day reading something from the Bible, and just another good habit is just my consistency. I feel as if
You said one good habit.
I can't think of. Well, I'm consistent. I got to throw Jesus in.
Gotta throw Jesus.
But bad habit.
Dang, this shirt smells good.
I would say bad habit is
No.
bad habit is not keeping in touch with people. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not good at.
Mine's the text.
I'm really bad at out of sight, out of mind.
Me too.
If you're not in my consistent circle, then it's hard for me to keep in contact. And that doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean I'm not thinking about you. But out of sight, out of mind.
Does it mean you're selfish?
No.
I be asking myself that sometimes. Like I ask myself sometimes, be like, why don't you?
But how do you have enough time for everybody?
You can't.
What about when it crosses your mind and you don't hit them? Are you wrong for that?
Yeah.
Like if you be like, dang, I haven't talked to such and such in a long time, and it crosses your mind and you know it'll take me 5 seconds to send a message, but you don't do it. Is it selfish? Are you wrong for that, or is you just preserving your time?
I don't do it because I know I won't be able to be consistent with it. So if I open up that door,
it's going to be a whole
then it's going to be.
Yeah,
but I love you and I'm thinking about you, and it's not that if I saw you I would have any ill will towards you, but if I open up that door, I know I'm going to disappear again just because in my given day, if you're not in my circle or in that every day, it's hard for me to reach out.
I'm about to say, because you don't never text me.
And then the phone go back both ways. You know, don't ever forget that. The phone it do go both ways.
I'm going to change mine to that. I think the discipline thing for me is something I'm just constantly working on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the texting, I'm terrible. I'm trash.
You've gotten better.
Have I?
For me, most definitely.
For me,
I just know that you used to go days.
Yeah.
But again, I think
nothing to talk about.
Doug, what's your best habit? Doug, what is your best habit?
Guy. I'm gonna shut up.
Best habit is reading. I read a lot, especially now. I read a lot.
You be reading.
I love that. I love that about you.
Reading.
I actually love that about you. That you always read. Like,
gotta stay in the loop. And my worst habit is honestly just nonchalant. I know I should care about some things more, but I just
it's not giving up.
My worst one is pride. My worst one is pride.
Pride.
Yeah,
that's another way to say it.
Yeah,
Isn't it crazy how it changed after you start thinking?
Yeah, when you start thinking
when he
about
said
it.
nonchalant, I'd be like, it's a lot of stuff I look at it, I'm like,
so
all right, bro.
Just
back.
So that, but again, I think everybody's could also be a positive thing because that could protect you from a lot of stuff affecting you if you.
That's how I look at it, but that's not how it's perceived from other people.
That's
exactly my.
When I look at my pride, I'll be like, no, bro, that's not good. Like, that's not. Sometimes pride is like one of those things you have to have. Like, you can't just you can't be not prideful, but sometimes your pride can just get to the point where it's like
your pride can kill you.
Too much pride.
Legit
Too much pride
is
too much pride is arrogance, right?
Yeah, in a way, it is cockiness. Yeah.
Pride in general, it's technically you're not supposed to have.
Yeah,
technically, I'm just saying, biblically, it should be no pride. Everything you do is supposed to be for
being humble.
Everyone else, and you're supposed to be humble. You're not supposed to have pride. You're supposed to let everyone else have. I'm just saying, biblically, that's how it's supposed.
Let's set a goal for this week based upon our
pride.
Weaknesses, based upon the things that we don't do well. So, like, if it's pride, nonchalance, or whether it's hitting somebody up or staying connected, let's do something where maybe we do a project for a week
and follow
for a goal.
Training last week.
Yeah, so I think, daggone, I just gotta. I'm gonna reach out to people I haven't reached out to in a while. That at one point in my life were a big part of my life because we were close to each other.
How about one friend from your, like, one college friend or something like that that you used to talk to? Like, maybe you just catch up.
I did hit Devon.
You already do.
I did because I see he started a clothing line.
See?
Yeah.
Hold on. What's the clothing line?
Daggone.
Oh,
I can't remember the name of my fault. I got you. She said go send me some shirts. I couldn't remember it. I couldn't remember.
Closing pieces. What we got?
From you, closing piece, I want some words from that poem you did Friday.
Oh, shoot. Which one did I do on? Did I do August?
It was smooth. Mac had the glasses, the dark shades.
Yo.
Had the bass player.
Yeah, that joint was smooth. You know what? To be honest with you, I just like stuff like that because you're able to. I like stuff that allows you to be able to express creatively.
Right.
And I think that's what, like, words allow you to do, poetry or whatnot. So I really wish, like, that's one of the things that I really see wanting in the future is a platform or a program where not just black men, black women and as well, but when I first thought about it was black men and black boys, fathers and sons, primarily being able to get together and do like a writing workshop where they have this thing where they bond over it, but at the same time, you know, they're maybe learning sonnets and, you know, limericks, whatever it is.
Haikus.
Yeah, haikus. They're learning all these different things, which just builds it.
Haikus. That's it. Haikus. So nobody else gonna say what their goal is?
My goal? Goal for the week? My goal for the week would be...
It's pride.
With pride. My goal for the week with pride would be to... I'm gonna apologize to one person for something that my pride has made me do towards them.
You know what one apology could do for you? For your whole... Oh, wow. Okay.
That's deep.
It's a release.
Man, just one.
Yeah. I'm gonna apologize to one person.
If you apologize quick, it just, like, releases you, like...
But see, there's a right and a wrong way to apologize.
Hey,
I learned.
Yeah, this is true.
What you got? What you got?
Do you have to say I'm sorry? My grandma is big on not saying sorry, and I think you have to do
say I apologize.
Yeah, but some people feel like it's not meant if you don't say I'm sorry.
I'm sorry means more than I apologize.
When we were
some
12.
people think that. What do you say? What do y'all say? I apologize or I'm sorry?
It's been a while.
I'll say I apologize and then I'll say what I'm apologizing for.
Yeah, I think I think it's words and people understand the words differently. But regardless, you have to say what it's for, and I think that's what it is. What you got?
I just say my fault.
What you got for your thing?
You go text back. Everybody text Mac this week and see if he responds. I mean, X. Text X this week and see if he responds.
Do not.
That was gonna be a lot.
I say do not. I mean, do not.
Phone might crash.
Go ahead.
My goal is.
I thought it was X.
My goal is with pride, right?
No, yours was based upon
texting
yours.
Back and responding.
Okay, I'm gonna go through my entire thread and respond to everybody.
Because if you showed your text message numbers, that number beside your text message, it's bad. What about you?
What you got, Dougie?
It's 122.
122.
For
it's like an email.
Nonchalant a goal. I'm going to care more. Okay.
But what specific thing are you going to do to care more?
You should tell a girl how you really feel about it.
Whew, not happening. But I can't do that one right now.
How about you at least say no? I don't know.
I get that.
Can you at least say what?
No, because then I think you already say that you don't care. Like at least acknowledge that you don't care. Because as you're not caring,
I mean, it's not like I'm just like anti. I don't know. We'll say that for next week. We'll just keep it going because I don't
Thinking
know.
out loud.
Finish that. Thinking
out loud. Love y'all.
Love you.
Used to kiss my granny, make my morning swerves. Foggy window in my cutlass was my learning curve.